Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Sunday Advanced Bible Study, the 17th of November, 2024. Okay. I'll be reading out of the Book of Lamentations, chapters 4 and 5. We're gonna break that down, and explain to you what's going on with it. Okay. You can go to our YouTube channel, the Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at and examine. These videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. We have our Cash App on the bottom of the screen too, for those that want to support the channel and help it move along. Okay, that's be greatly appreciated also. So with that being said, how's our operation for the people that's interested? We come on, it's Tuesday and Wednesday, 7 to 9. And it's p.m. Central Time. And then we come on Sabbath twice in the morning from 10 to 12 a.m. Central Time. And then we close out the Sabbath at 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time. And then we have our Sunday Advanced Bible Study on at 5 Central Time. So feel free to come in and engage with us or listen, whatever you want to do. You're welcome. Okay. So with that being said, this is a non-Messianic channel. For those that didn't know, we deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the 35 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. We don't subscribe to the New Testament, Yahushua, Jesus, Yehoshua, none of that. Okay, that's a Gentile creation. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Sunday Advanced Bible Study. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer, or read the Psalms. Then we have some current events, and hopefully get some feedback from that, some need to know information. Then we'll open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments or anything they want to talk about? And then we'll go into our topic. Like I said earlier, we'll be dealing with Lamentations, chapters 4 and 5. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts, and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in His last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before Thee at this time, and we are thankful for the knowledge and the understanding that You have given us up until this point. Lord, we see Thy hand in the affairs of the world, and we know and understand that what You have spoken in the past will surely come to pass. Turn not Thy face from us, but hearken unto this plea. Hearken, O Lord, and do. Our praises unto Thee. Okay, do we have any health today? Health moment? We don't? Okay.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Was Tasha going to read the Psalms first? You want me to do health first, sir?
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and do the song. My bad.
No, that's okay.
I'm tripping.
Shalom.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be reading from Psalms 121. God neither slumbers nor sleeps. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. That's Psalms 121.
Right. Notice how it ended. It says that the Lord is going to be with them from this time forward till forevermore. Of which, where the New Testament come in is that? Where it fit in there? So he's not going to get replaced. Anybody coming that's going to replace him in in the New Testament. He says the Lord is there from the beginning to the end. Okay.
Yes.
Any questions, comments on that? Okay. We're going to do our help moment.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please know that the information that is shared is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on the incredible health benefits of elderberries. Elderberries are known for their immune system boosting properties and have been used in medicinal preparations since ancient times. While there are many different fruits in the Sambucus family, a close relative of the blueberry. Black elderberries are some of the most sought after because they have an exceptional high concentration of antioxidants. In fact, in the olden days, they were often one of the first remedies prescribed to help treat colds and flu symptoms. But unlike many folk remedies, these berries have been proven time and time again to live up to their medicinal reputation and have an incredible amount of health benefits that you should know about. Elderberries are packed with key nutrients like vitamin C, zinc, beta carotene, folic acid, iron, and vitamin B12. Elderberries can help with anything from a cold to allergies and even ulcers. Elderberries help boost kidney and urinary health by preventing bacteria from sticking to the cells found in these areas. This in turn helps avoid kidney infections and reduces symptoms of urinary tract infections. Elderberry can also help protect your heart and cardiovascular health by preventing cholesterol and fatty deposits from attaching to the cells. These help block cholesterol production, which can lead to heart disease. It helps lower your blood glucose. Elderberry also reduces inflammation, which helps all around your body. For example, inflammation in your digestive tract can lead to ulcers, and inflammation in the joints can cause arthritis. In fact, elderberry can even help with eye inflammations or asthma symptoms. The most powerful benefits from elderberries come from their work in your immune system. And all the nutrients that they give you are one of your body craves already. There are different ways that you can take elderberry, including fresh, as juice, as a jam, or as an extract, as a syrup, or in tea. So there's no reason not to add elderberries to your diet. I will be reading from Genesis chapter 1, verses 11 and 12, the third day. Verse 11, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. 12. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. That discussion was on the incredible health benefits of elderberry, and I read Genesis chapter 1, verses 11 and 12. Shalom, everyone.
Okay. Appreciate that information. Okay. We're going to go to our current event. Okay. Story starting already happening. People, these Trump voters starting to get a reality check on what they voted for. Okay. Check this out.
Stories keep pouring in. Every day, more and more Trump voters are starting to lose it as they are hit with a major reality check about the person they voted for. Some of them are panicked about Trump's cabinet picks. Some are realizing that he is going to be a disaster for the economy. Some are realizing that the programs they rely upon are being targeted for removal. Unfortunately, it seems that a lot of these folks are okay with Trump causing Americans to suffer until it happens to them. And somehow, I guess, they completely blacked out the last time Trump screwed everything up. I'm going to share some of these stories. My name is Brett Meiselas with the Midas Touch Network. Remember to hit subscribe and help us get to 3.5 million subscribers. Let's dive right in. Here's the first. This person writes, "It happened today. A coworker, white lesbian with a special needs child, spoke about how she voted for Orange Man because of, quote, her beliefs and faith. Said she didn't know about his plans with the Department of Education. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education, and he's not, quote, allowed to take away funding, especially for special needs kids." And I guess a lot of people just didn't listen to Donald Trump at all on the campaign trail. This is one of the main planks of his platform, was getting rid of the Department of Education. And here's another story similar to that. Let's read about this Trump voter getting a little nervous because her child uses an individualized education program. This is what they write in a Trump form. I'll read you the thread. This person says, "I'm tense. What happened to the Department of Education?" Somebody responds, "Nothing, but its only purpose is to help fund schools and give them advice. Education is a power reserved to the states." To which an individual writes, "Me too. I voted for Trump, obviously, and agree with mostly everything, but I keep seeing stuff about this and getting a little nervous as I have a child with an individualized education program. I need someone who is smart on the topic to reassure me this will be okay without the fearmonger stuff I keep seeing." To which somebody on this Trump forum responds, "It'd be left to the states to manage. Move to a state like California if your state doesn't offer the education service you want. Yeah, everybody could just pick up and move. Great idea." Yeah, people don't realize that this isn't fear-mongering. This is actual stuff. These are plans that he has made the intention of getting rid of himself. He has said this out loud over and over and over again. Here's a small business owner and a Trump supporter speaking about potentially losing their health care under Donald Trump. They write the following: "Small business owner and potentially losing the Affordable Care Act healthcare law. I started my own business a few years ago. I bring in about $60,000 per year. I live within my means and I have no debt and no family. I live comfortably. However, in order to keep things as they are, I need health insurance. I purchased my insurance through the Affordable Care Act. I have a pre-existing condition. If the ACA is repealed or gutted, I will not be able to get insurance, it seems to me. Is there anyone in my situation? Have you thought about what you might do?" Well, perhaps if the ACA was important to you, you should have voted for the people who wanted to protect and expand the ACA. By the way, they're coming for veterans health care as well. Vivek Ramaswamy announced it in a post on X yesterday on social media. He wrote the following: "We shouldn't let the government spend money on programs that have expired, yet that's exactly what happens today. $500 billion of taxpayer funds, $516 billion, goes each year to programs which Congress has allowed to expire." As Brian Rydell writes, "Wow, Vivek Ramaswamy comes out for defunding veterans healthcare, which is $120 billion. He wants to defund the $516 billion spent annually on programs with expired authorizations, and that is by far the biggest one, expired since 1998. And Vivek Ramaswamy is not some like random guy. Ramaswamy was put on this kind of fake government committee, this fake government department that Donald Trump said that he is creating with him and Elon Musk. And their job is to get rid of essential government programs. Their job is to fire government employees. And this Brian Rydell, I'll talk to you about him in a little bit, but this is a conservative guy speaking about this. And as he says here, he writes, "Here's a breakdown of the largest federal programs with expired authorizations. I'm a strong fiscal conservative, but not sure about getting rid of embassies, veterans health, NASA, etc." And you can see the list here of all the things that Ramaswamy and Elon Musk want to cut from the government. As I said, this is not like a random person. This guy who is giving us this information is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. That's a conservative think tank, and he focuses on budget, tax policy, and economic policy. He used to work 6 years as a chief economist to Senator Rob Portman in Ohio, and he served as director of budget and spending policy for Marco Rubio's 2016 presidential campaign, and was the lead architect of the 10-year deficit reduction plan for Mitt Romney's 2012 presidential campaign. So this is no liberal, this is no Democrat, this is the person calling out Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump's plan to gut veterans' health care. Here's another comment that somebody sent in. "A Republican friend just called me in a panic. She just read about the plan to cut funding for veterans' health benefits. 3 months ago, I told her that was the plan. She didn't believe the government would turn on veterans. I said to her, he calls them suckers and losers. What made you think he gives a damn about veterans? Her husband has numerous health issues and relies solely on the VA. I told her she'd better prepare herself for what's coming for her. I don't understand where these people get the idea that Republicans are good for veterans. This is the same party that voted over and over and over again against the bill, the PACT Act, which provided health care to veterans who were exposed to toxic burn pits. And it wasn't until there was a lot of pressure from folks like you and from people like Jon Stewart shaming them into voting for this bill that it got passed, thanks to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, that this got passed. Yet they thought it would be so shocking if Republicans did this, if they took power. This is exactly what happens. This is why you have to watch what they do and not just what they say. Here is a comment in the RFK Jr. for President subreddit about Matt Gaetz. They write, Matt Gaetz picked as Attorney General. It's being reported now on cable news. Saw on CNN. Really? Gaetz? He is the worst man. Trump really picks people based on loyalty rather than
Yeah, you got to go check that dude out. I keep on saying in the last couple of videos, Matt Gaetz. Go check him out. That's who the Attorney General is.
Competence. Gaetz is a gross pick, in my opinion. One of the commenters writes, wow, I want to off myself for my vote now. We knew this about Donald Trump beforehand, didn't we? We all knew this about Donald Trump. I'm not sure how you got deluded along the way, but everybody knew this is exactly what Donald Trump does. Here's a post from the conservative subreddit about Matt Gaetz as well. This person says, I don't want just a MAGA for 4 years. I want a Republican Party that is conservative and appeals to the majority of Americans for the next generation and beyond. Gaetz does not serve that goal. Trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets. And another conservative person responded to them writing, the traditional conservative Republican Party you want is gone. It died in 2015. Yeah, this MAGA movement is not conservative. I don't even think Trump calls it conservative at this point. It's an authoritarian, weird, fascist, just bizarro movement. I don't know how you can think that this is in any way conservative.
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay.
Shalom. I think it's a distraction. I think he's just throwing stuff out there. You got the U.S. House holding hearings about UFOs, and then you have this man just randomly picking people out of his phone and nominate them for these important cabinet positions. I think it's a distraction.
Okay. Yeah. So let's look at that. 2020, the project 2025. When you look at it, okay, and then you go back. This solely goes back to what people don't understand about it is the Illuminati bankers, these Edomites. Go back to over in Israel. I had made mention of the Knesset. I don't know if anybody know what that is, but they got this place over there. It's a building they built. It's built like a scroll. A scroll, okay? Like for the Israelites, a scroll, what they was writing on. So this building where they got all this information that all these boys, like I said, the stuff we talking about and the searching that we doing now, they were doing it when they were 4, 5, 6 years old. So they got all this information, but they Illuminati bankers. Not only are Illuminati bankers, they the architects of the Constitution. So they the ones every election. They finagling the election based off of what was said with the Constitution. So they the authors of this 2025 bill. So what is it all about? Day one, they want to go. What their objective is the first 100 days. They want to shut the whole government down. First 100 days. Nobody ain't never did that. Up in this point, they was always fumbling with it. Like I said, Obama had, let me get this right quick. Obama had, I'm sorry about that. I see y'all down there. But so Obama had he had the House and the Congress in his hand, and he was the Democratic president, and they had both houses. And he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing with it. And then when Biden came in, he did it. Kennedy had it. So these people, they didn't pre-game. What they set up was, now they got the House, they got the Congress, and they got a Republican president. And the first 100 days, that's why they saying that there ain't gonna be no other president after him. Because they finished totally dismantle. They're gonna be like the Tasmanian devil. The first 100 years, first 100 days. People don't have no idea what's getting ready to come. They finna start shutting down. They already started. They finna start shutting down all kind of stuff while they got control of the whole government. It ain't like you know, when you seen they kept trying to impeach Trump, and then when Biden was in there, they tried to impeach Biden. That's because they didn't have control of both houses. But these people got control of both houses, and they got a Republican Democrat, and they got the control. I mean, they got a Republican president, and he got the majority vote in the Supreme Court. He appointed those last 3 appointees. So he got total control, and they finna use that. Them Edomites. If you go to the New Testament, when you understand who that is, and that's in the land of Israel, these Pharisees and Sadducees, he says they lawyers. They pros at the scriptures. That's where all these laws coming from, the Constitution, when they say it's supposedly they locked themselves in a room back in the day, and they miraculously got the Constitution came down like it was God was part of it. Like God was part of it. But the reality was that these Edomites, they concocted the Constitution. And they've been finagling it. They concocted the New Testament. And they've been using that against us from day one. They know they pros at it, how to use it. And that's what they're doing. They knew back in when they had pulled all these different straws from different areas to finagle we had the power, but we been hoodwinked. So they got to the point where they was at the end of the road. So they had to bring Obama on the scene. They pulled that straw. But they knew they had to have a black man that was brainwashed by them, that they brought on the scene. So they brought Obama on there and brought him in there. But he was a lame duck because they appointed him. All that's under part of the Constitution, you know how to use it. And that's what 2025 is. These first 100 days, they finna cut everything off because of the system that's in place now. Israelites rising, women rising, so they cutting it off. Okay.
Shalom, everyone. Yes, sir. I was when you was playing that, and they were saying, how Trump is going to cut out, a lot of things for the veterans, right? But if you remember, he was doing a lot of talk about giving the veterans help. There's too many veterans, that's out on the streets, that's not getting the adequate help that they need, and so forth, right? So now they're getting ready to see the true hand of Trump. Now that he has been elected and he is in office, they're going to see what he's really going to do. Like you say, shut down everything.
Exactly.
So the one that he chose to be the Veterans Affairs Secretary is a former House member from Georgia. So that should not be no surprise.
Right. And they racist, they're redneck.
Right.
And that's another thing that people got to focus on too. When you start talking about racist, like I say, they got one definition of what racist is, but our definition of racist is, let me read our definition. Somebody that's awoke in these last days, like he promised he was going to do. Let me show you what racist is to the Israelite when he this is the true definition of it. I'm in Ezekiel, right? Okay, let me get it. Okay, Ezekiel 35. This is the true definition of what racism is. Okay, so this should bring everything into focus. I'm in Ezekiel 35. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. These are Edomites, the Illuminati bankers, the fourth beast, Rome. This the beast system, all these Edomites. 3, and say unto it, thus says the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, and I will lay thy cities to waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast been had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had came to an end. Therefore, as I live, says the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with the slain men. Check out this, why he gonna do this, okay? And I will fill his mountains with the slain men in the hills and in the valleys, and in thy rivers shall thy fall by thy flank by the sword. And I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast said, these two nations, Judah and Israel, 10 tribes, these two nations, countries shall be mine, and we will possess it. Wherefore the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, says the Lord God, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thy envy, which thou hast used out thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. That's racism. That's the true definition. Esau, and it's all about him and Israel. They the nicknames. They got African American and all this in there, but it's Israelites and these Edomite bankers that's running the world. Like I said, Edom is the fourth beast. Ain't no other beast after him. Ain't no they coming up with all these 10 toes and all this bull crap, but it's the fourth beast is Edom, Esau. That's the racism. They nicknamed it. Okay, in comments. Okay, everybody good on that?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go with this. Let's look at this right here. This is like I said, now they had all this stuff that went on with Biden, that he was a lame duck, he had dementia and all that, so they got come out of ads, right? But now all of a sudden, we got the president, we got Putin, he already on the scene. He didn't won election. Now look what he doing. Now he want to be a president.
Reversing a long-standing U.S. policy involving the war in Ukraine. Biden now going to allow Ukrainian forces to use long-range U.S. weapons inside of Russia for the very first time. CNN's Kevin Liptak is traveling with the president in Brazil.
He's been tripping down on the airplane steps and all this losing losses. He didn't know what he was talking about at the debate, but he got enough sense to do this.
Kevin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, this is a major change in American policy, and it comes at a critical point in the war in Ukraine as Russian forces mass in the city and around the city of Kursk as they prepare for an offensive there, and as North Korea has sent thousands of its troops to fight alongside Russia in that conflict. President Biden making this decision to allow Ukraine to fire the American ATACMS missiles inside Russia for the first time. And this had been the subject of a long-running debate inside the American government about the wisdom of allowing Ukraine train this new capability, there were officials who were concerned about the risk of escalation in this war. That's something that President Biden has been concerned about throughout the conflict. You also heard officials worry about the stockpiles of ATACMS. These are not resources in endless supply. At the end of the day, the addition of the
so let's bring it down to Negro terms on what's happening right here. So you at the bar or wherever, or you in a side alley somewhere, and you fighting with somebody. Y'all passing, y'all fighting, throwing back blows. They throwing blows, you throwing blows, and then your cousin's standing there. You see him over there, and he give the person that you fighting with a bat. Your cousin give the person that you fighting with a bat, and then he end up beating the hell out of you with the bat. So after that, you're gonna give your cousin a pass?
No way.
Hell no. So that's what they're doing. They got these long range missiles that Ukraine don't even know how to make. Now America done gave it to them. Now Biden, he supposed to be got dementia. Now all of a sudden he get them to go ahead to use them. So what else you expect Russia to do? He ain't trying to deal with the Ukrainians. He gonna deal with the person that got the bat. They gave him the bat. They gave him the power. That's what he gonna do. He ain't finna go with them. He ain't not able to do. Ukraine ain't nothing. It's America getting them these long range missiles to reach all the way into Russia. But the most likeliest person that they got you thinking that he throwed off, he ain't got his right mind. Come on, look what he's doing now. 40-something, 50-something days left in the White House. But just the move you made. You ain't make this 2 years ago when the war first started. Come on. See what I'm saying? Any comments?
So I have a question. So what do you think from a spiritual standpoint, what's the strategic advantage of America doing that?
Okay, so the Most High said that you got to go back to the giants. So why do the giants have a problem with the Creator? Right? Like Og and Bashan, all them giants that the Israelites fighting against, and they hated them. They came into their land and they asked them, "We just passing through here. We got money. We done robbed the Egyptians. We done spoiled the Egyptians. We got money, so we want to get some water and maybe some fruit or whatever y'all land, and we're gonna give you the money for it." They don't want the money. They want to put foot in Israelites. They hate the Israelites. Why do they hate the Israelites? Those 200 angels that came down as their fathers. And the Most High sent those 7 angels, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and they bind them. And he created Hail and Gehenna and put them in there. And so these angels, these giants got characteristic DNA from their fathers. They got supernatural DNA, supernatural characteristics that they got from their fathers. So they hate the Most High. They don't want to deal with him. And so when you understand that these people here ascended from them. They're not as tall as them, but they're the same people. They have the same characteristics that they have. It's just that the height factor and the gigantism was taken away because the Most High destroyed the giants, and then he destroyed that, and he bound the angels. So they're not as tall, but their DNA is still here. And that's what we're looking at, but we don't understand that. Then we've been brainwashed. Like I said, you think the New Testament is a doozy, the Constitution is a doozy. The same people that created the New Testament created the Constitution, and they're using it against you. These Edomites created the Constitution. Matter of fact, the Edomites the one created all these lies over here that America is Israel. When they came over here, they started naming all these places over here in Utah and Phoenix and all that, talking about giving them Israelite names. That's what everybody, now you got Negroes so-called waking up and they going in that direction. But the Edomites came and did all that. Based off of the creator that was on, he was on their back. He ran them all the way through Europe with those, because of Ezekiel 37. Just like with us, Deuteronomy 28 is pursuing us, Ezekiel 35 pursuing them. Because of what they done to us, he bringing drama on them. They had to go from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, to finally they had to get a Columbus with the Nina, the Peanut, and the Santa Rita to find some more land to go to. Because the Lord of hosts was on them. Beating them down wherever they went. And then finally, so they found out about America and they came here. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, that's what George Washington went. When they had lost the war. That war that they had, I can't think of what they called it, but when the colonies, so-called 13 colonies, was fighting against France, they had lost. They got beat down, but they went to those Edomites. They came here. And those Edomites, they got their money. They bankers, they Illuminati bankers. The Templars. And they gave them money. And he was able to pay his army and revive his army, and that's how they ended up winning. But these Edomites paid them. And the perks they gave them for doing that is why we got all this Jewish symbolism all on the money. It was because of what they done for these so-called Europeans that came over here on this, and George Washington and all of them. But it's all about when you connect the dots. It's all about these Edomites and what they're doing. And they hate you for us. Like I said before, you would think that it's petty, but I mean, look at Caitlin Clark. Who behind that? Look at all the sisters came through there. College and high school that was dominating. Then all of a sudden now they got Caitlin Clark. You can't even play, you can't even have a woman's basketball without her name coming up. She the guru. And now, if you ain't paying no attention, they're doing the same thing now with the white boy with in college. Cooper Flag. All these Negroes with all this talent, but all of a sudden now here this white boy is every 15 minutes he popping up on the internet or he popping up on the news. They did the same thing with Caitlin Clark. Now she the face of the NBA. So why is that? Because we've been rising. Like I said, you got that people of African descent that they set in place. Nobody know about. It just came to an end. So Negroes are rising everywhere based off of that. So their objective is to come in and shut that down. That's what this is about. So the first 100 days, they already hit the ground running, like I said. That's how we're gonna get out of here, because that's a cue, miscue. They don't understand how much the people are sick of their laws and their lies and everything that they've done. People are sick of it, and now they come in and they want to strong arm everybody, strong arm the world, and they ain't gonna happen. People they're gonna revolt against it. But that's what they're gonna do. Like I said, can you imagine them you getting a letter or somebody calling you on the phone or sending you a text and tell you got to report to a plantation? Think about that. Hey, come on, man. That's subjective. That's what they got playing. And they think it's going to work. You come in.
Shalom, I definitely think that it's going to be an internal thing, but what they're not counting on is the world is going to also turn on them. So they ain't gonna be able to fight multiple wars on multiple fronts, the homeland and defending the homeland. They ain't gonna be able to do it. But their arrogance think that because of who they were, and they think they put themselves there, that they'll be able to regain that. And the truth is, it was because we were being punished, and now that punishment is being lifted, that the things are the way that they are. They think that they put themselves in that place some kind of way, but they didn't. And that's one of their fatal flaws, I think.
Right. Right. Well, so like I was saying before, just think about, okay, this is like Bible this Bible 400. This ain't no 101. So okay, you look at we got the curses on us. That's basic. They already know the curses on us. So how was they able? I mean, look at the Negroes now that in the NFL, like T.O. and Deion Sanders and all of them brothers. Like they are work of art. They 6'6", 6'5". They'll work hard. So that was across the board. Our Israelite men was like that. So how did they end up on the top? Because we got the curses on us. The Most High to do this. Okay, is it any curses on these Mexicans? They ain't no damn Israelites. Is there any curses on the Mexicans?
No, sir.
In the scripture? No. So they finna come now and think they finna subdue these Mexicans. You done came over, you done brought them over here, and you done did all this shit, and they done dug in. Now you finna come and try to run them out of here. Come on, it ain't working. You got away with it with us because we had curses on us. He already told us a man gonna come in the slave quarters and sleep with your wife, and ain't shit you gonna be able to do about it. That's scripture. That's why we ain't do nothing. We had all the tools to get him out of there, but the Most High was controlling the conversation and controlling what was going on. But the Mexican don't have no curses on him. They ain't going nowhere. We already looking at now. It's a war going on the border. They ain't going for it. That's what they throwed off at.
And that's already started too with that. I don't know if you're gonna play it in the video with the airplanes being shot at over there in Texas. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah, they, like I say, you got these so-called awakened Hebrew Israelites telling these Mexicans they Israelites. They ain't no damn Israelites. So now they finna come. You done tricked them off and gave them all this money and stuff, and they got cars, vehicles, houses, and now you finna come in with a full fledged raid, and not only that, all white boys. You finna come with all white boys and try to run them out of here. Shit, that's the great dumbest move ever. It ain't gonna work. Come on. So let me get do something with this right here. I gotta do this here. Wait. Okay, let me get it. Okay, so yeah, so like I said before, it ain't gonna work. It's like when the Pharaoh, when he sent Moses, then the Pharaoh told him, our God told you to let him go, but he wasn't trying to hear it. He had already got 400 years of servitude out of them. He had built all kind of cities for them. All they had to do was let them go. But no, that's where these people at. The time it came, all the signs there. Us waking up is a miracle after all they did to our books and everything and our history, and for us to wake up and start to find out our history. That's a miracle in its own. That's in itself. That's enough to say, well, damn, let me leave these people alone and let them get them on out of here if they want to go. No, you're doing just like the Pharaoh. It's hard being hard. They hard being hard. And now everything they do is the wrong thing. That's what they at.
And it's gonna turn on them.
It's gonna turn on them, right? Like I say, what they got planned for the next 100 days, people have no idea. It's absurd. They're thinking that people gonna go for it, and they ain't. Okay.
Shalom. Because not all of them are loyal to their own kind.
Right. Exactly. You right. You right. But like I said before, it ain't gonna matter whether they're together or not, because the creator is the one behind the division. That's one of his objectives. If you're looking for him, that's one of the signs to see that he turns our enemies in against each other.
Yes, sir.
We went to that prime example was when the Assyrians came from the class yesterday. When the Assyrians came to the gates of Jerusalem, and they said they had a plan, but in the middle of the night, the angel of the Lord came amongst them and turned them in against each other. They ended up fighting each other, and the ones he didn't kill, they killed each other. And the next morning, when they came out there, all them was dead. 800,000 people was dead, and they had crossed that whole continent. So they had robbed and pillaged and raped. They had jewels, gold, garments, and all that all in them tents. And all the Israelites had to do was open their doors up and go out there and get all that. And so we're looking at the same thing, like I just said when the Psalms was read. It's the same God. Ain't no new God came. No New Testament. Same God that did that. He's gonna do the same thing again. He's gonna neutralize our enemies. Ain't nothing we gotta do. Okay. So, with that being said, I'll play this right here. I was telling you about this before. This is another one of those signs the Creator is on the move, because he prophesied things and he's going to make sure they come to pass. So he prophesied this right here.
So the problem comes. However, Zimbabwe's president mustn't disagree. The Africans affected by slavery and colonialism should rather feel grateful for the British. And some British politicians have made comments that are causing anger in Africans. And even you are going to be angry after hearing this. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going into a big discussion happening in the UK about reparations for countries affected by colonialism and slavery. There is current rise of both African leaders and Pan-Africans calling for reparation fee. Someone like Julius Malema is part of this call. Recently, the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, also added his voice strongly on this issue of reparation. And now Zimbabwe is making it a hit. Yes, I said a hit. You will still agree with me. Just relax. Just make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. Also like the video. This is what Julius Malema have to say about this issue of reparation.
Tell them to pay reparations first. Then we can consider paying that. If they have no money to pay, they must pay reparations first. Then we can enter into that debate. And our reparation is nothing less than $5 trillion. That's what you owe us. You're asking money from people you stole from.
After this, Akufo-Addo, the president of Ghana, also pulled it out loudly.
It's time to bring the subject of reparations firmly to the fore. Reparations must be paid for the slave trade.
And then several African leaders have recently called for reparations to address the historical injustices of slavery and colonialism.
So this is why they're attacking Abraham Tory right here, because what he's doing is going to bring about this, but it's all of them. They're catching fire. They all going to come. It's all coming to the forefront.
Is Zimbabwe. The president of Zimbabwe, President Emerson, has been vocal about the need for reparations from Britain, following similar calls from other African leaders, including those in Kenya and Namibia. Zimbabwe president has stressed that these reparations should acknowledge the harm of colonial rule. The Prime Minister of Togo, Bitua Tomega Dope, also addressed the issue at a recent conference in Ghana, where she discussed how the enduring psychological trauma and economic inequality created by colonialism continue to affect African nations. At the recent Commonwealth Summit, leaders from Ghana, Lesotho, and the Gambia have all publicly supported financial reparations. They all want money to be paid to them, and this is reflecting a growing demand for Britain to take responsibility for the impact of its colonial past. These leaders agree that reparations will help address the ongoing effect of slavery, which includes economic instability, political strife, and cultural erasure that persist in many African nations. Yes, on the other hand, I practically disagree with these leaders, and I'll tell you why. Now, UK's Foreign Secretary David Lammy recently visited Nigeria and shared his thought on this particular topic. In the middle of this growing call from Africans, Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, David Lammy, a black puppet, and I'll tell you why I said this is a puppet. He's a white man in black skin. This guy, while visiting Nigeria, he said that reparations don't have to mean cash payment. Instead, he suggested that the UK will help by sharing skills and knowledge to support the countries that were affected by colonialism and slavery. He added that this is especially important during the current cost of living crisis. Now, this is where the problem comes in. However, Zimbabwe's President Emmerson disagreed with David Lammy, and he has called on Britain to pay reparations for harm caused during colonial rule. He mentioned that other countries like Kenya and Namibia have received apologies and compensation, and he believes that it is now Zimbabwe's turn. Now, this is where it's getting a little bit tough. We are now having a debt gratitude controversy. Some British politicians have made comments that are causing anger in Africans, and even you are going to be angry after hearing this. Conservative leader candidate.
Ordinary heart. Ain't doing nothing no different than the federal. It's gonna cost them. But anyway, any comments on that?
Yeah, it's just, nothing new under the sun. It's just repeating itself. I mean, I think one of the things they need to start doing that I saw, they want to loan back Africa the treasures that they stole. Instead of giving it back, they want to loan it back. To me, that's the first stage of the reparations, is give back what you stole.
Right.
Right. As I think I saw something today where some crown jewels or something like that. I forgot what country it was. It may have been Ghana, or it may have been some another place, where they want to, the British Museum want to loan that to them for 125 years. I'm like,
Right.
what? It don't even belong to you.
Exactly.
And then to me, the arrogance of believing that they get to decide how they pay back what they have done. I mean, to me, it's just a repeat of how they went from colonialism to neo-colonialism. They still want to have a buy-in on the development or how things get developed. And we don't need your experts and all of that. We can do that ourselves. We can develop that technology. We have our own scientists. We have all of that. We could do it ourselves. We don't need them to do that. But they need us, and they won't let us go.
Exactly. And the thing about it, all of that's been prophesied. But like I said, because of this disinformation that they've been doing for the last 2,500 years, and us waking up, a lot of the things that we can't see because we lacking certain information, and we lacking the right mindset to see it. Like I said, Bible, the scriptures are unfolding right there in the Negro land, but Negroes can't see it. They're too busy looking for damn Antichrist and looking for beast system and all that when it's been in place. We at the end of it. That's what we're looking at crumbling. Beast system being crumbled. It's being disassembled by the most creator. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody got any questions or comments about that they want to bring up? So somebody came across they want to talk about? Okay, yeah, I want to talk about that for a minute about the UFOs. They say that's in the you got a UFO, which is an unidentified flying object, but you got a USO too, right? So what's a USO? Unidentified submerged object that's in the ocean.
Okay.
Right? So like I was saying before, you got to go back and look at it. Creator. I showed you in Genesis chapter 1 that Yahweh, I mean Lord of hosts, Yahweh is in Genesis 1 and verse 1, and then verse 2, the Lord of hosts is moving upon the waters. The Lord of hosts. That's why they got JC over there in New Testament, you know, in the lake in Galilee, walking on the waters, and then he calmed the waters and all that. That's coming from the Lord of hosts, the one deal with the waters. The Lord of hosts, the one brought the flood, opened up made all the you know, the fountains under the sea open up and all that. He opened the windows of heaven up, and he the one brought the flood. He the one was moving on the waters. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, when you look at the curses, when you look at Noah's flood, he said he destroyed, before the flood, these angels came down, they violated, we talked about how they violated women, and they got giants. But now they didn't stop there. Like these nut buckets, you can't expect them to stop. He's gonna have to stop them. So now it went from there, they went to sleeping with giraffes, right? And bulls. That's how you get the Minotaur. And they went out in the ocean. It was in the ocean, violating the animals in the ocean. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, when the floods came, they killed everything on the land that live on the land. But you got beasts that was created from these animals, from these angels sleeping with these animals and these fish in the sea. They still alive. They still, when the water receded, them things still alive. And then, like I said before, they got angelic DNA in them. They ain't no regular beast in the ocean. They're highly intelligent. So what's the story? That the Babylonians say, and the Babylonians in the Sumner, they talk about Sumner over in Mesopotamia. They say that Dagon, the god that they worship, Dagon came up out the sea and taught them all kind of stuff. Then we see in Genesis, I mean in the book of Adam and Eve, where did these angels come from? Out the water. They came up out the water and they came up to Jared, and they told Jared, we got a place where we live at. And Jared said, we ain't nobody. Wait, what you mean? He said, we got a place where we came from. Our sons and daughters we came from, we want to take you there to our place. It's in the ocean. Come on.
Yes,
And so
sir.
when you go back and look at all the stories, that's where they come. That's where the drama is at. That's the only frontier left that we can't deal with. It's the bottom of the ocean. And like I said before, two things that people now, if you ain't thinking like a Hebrew, you know, it ain't gonna register. But why you can't go to Mars? Why for the longest we couldn't go to Mars? It's a gas around Mars you can't get there. There's a reason for it. Why you can't go to the very depths of the sea? The pressure. You can't get there. Who doing that? Nobody ain't registered with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, they too busy worrying about JC. JC ain't the one doing that. Who put the gas around these planets that you can't go to? Who did what they did in the bottom of the ocean? You can't get there. Come on. So it's a whole, and then in the earth, the middle of the earth, the inner earth, it's a whole civilization inside the earth. We can't get to. So they ain't just started with no UFOs and USOs. They've been doing it. They've been here. They've been operating in the ocean. We just stole off on it. So like I said, it's got you got the Canaanites, all these different races of giants, but nobody talks about the Ojo. Like I said, OJO, Ojo. Those are the ones that the angels, when they violated animals, like I said, the Minotaur and those beings that was in the ocean, like they talk about quadriquotal, that's dealing with the those old people over in South Africa, those pyramids. That, I mean, not South Africa, but over in South America, those pyramids over there, and who they were sacrificing to. They was dealing with serpentine, you know, amphibious beings that was coming out the water. Look at what's that? Poseidon, and all them aquatic beings. Poseidon is in the ocean. Okay, but we ain't dealing with that. And then, like I said, even to this day, this stuff in the ocean that we can't begin to even deal with because we got barriers to stop us from we got a certain place we can go in the ocean. We can't do nothing with it. It's you know, it's Mark's Nicks. We can't go no further. So you say, what are you talking about? Oh, they got a movie out. It came out a long time ago called The Abyss. Go there and watch that with what I just told you, and watch The Abyss. Watch that movie. The beings that been coming here. They come from where they come, wherever they come from out of outer space, whatever. They go straight to down there. You can't go down there. You ain't got nothing to do
Shalom.
with it.
So I have a question. How does that play into they finally admitting to the reveal of these things? I know it's part of it is because the time is up, but what, if anything, will that have to do with what's coming in terms of the war and us leaving?
Well, when you go back to the book of Enoch, those 200 angels, right? They was huddled up in one place and they was scared. They ain't scared of us. Who they was scared of? They was scared of Yahweh, and he got these 7 angels. That's greater than them. That's gonna shut them down. So who's the architect behind this? They the architect behind. They've been getting away with it for time immemorial. Well, they coming back. There's nothing on this planet that can deal with them. But now the time that came that the Most High, that the Creator predicted, and that He prophesied. The prophecies ain't just for us; it's for them too.
Mhm.
And their time is up. So now they coming out in the open because now they want to try to or put fear on us to throw us off, but it's over with. And then, like he
So does
said,
that
it's nothing that's not going to be that's been hid. It's not going to be brought to the table before he come back.
so does
And he
that
said,
include the prophecy about the Euphrates River drying up and the angels being released?
right, it's all tied to that. He said when you go through the book of Enoch, he says that those 200 angels were bound in different places in the earth, bound in different valleys in the mountains and in different places in the earth. Says after 70 generations, he's gonna come back and deal with them. So
Shalom.
it's stuff that we've been dealing with, and it's stuff that's been happening on this planet, on this earth that we don't know nothing about. Because first of all, we don't have the eye, we don't have the mind for it. It's been hidden from us.
Shalom.
Yeah.
As far as the giants, like I kind of like if you look at they did a movie on it with I think it's one of those little animated movies where the giants were actually mountains and they arose because the
Right.
um, things were on them. Okay, what about the full-blown Nephilims? Will they be coming back?
No, I wouldn't say so. I say they already served their purpose. You know, so I couldn't see that. And only thing I can see is if it's somewhere that they hit and they're gonna come back out. Like for example, what happened over there in Afghanistan. And they,
That's what I was
like,
gonna say.
yeah, they, like I said, and then you have to understand you got when you say the heavens, right? It's seven heavens, but we can't see them. We can be standing right now and looking up in the sky, and we looking at the seven heavens, but they're in another dimension. We can't see it. Well, it's got nine dimensions parallel to this one. So these, like I was saying, I was telling people about it. It tells us in the book of Enoch, you got two beasts. He said he mentioned specifically Behemoth, the hairy beast. You're a giant hairy beast, and then you got Leviathan that's in the ocean. Okay, well, what do we know about that? You got Bigfoot that everybody talk about. Then you got Loch Ness monster, but they interdimensional beings. They don't just exist in this dimension. They able to go in and out of different dimensions. That's why nobody can never just pin them down. That's from me looking at it and looking at scripture.
Shalom. So that would have to do with some of the, again, this may be going too far, so you can cut me off if you want to. But does this have to do with the portals and stuff that they say exist
Right. Exactly.
around the world, the Bermuda Triangle and all those types of things?
That's over our head. We know nothing about. Like he said, when those 200 angels came down, they started revealing things to mankind, and mankind's never supposed to know.
Right.
And that's what that is. Then we even look at when Jacob's ladder. That's a portal.
Yeah.
It's a portal he dealing with. And then another one is nobody else seem to they don't see it, but when the angel came to I can't think of the name of and told the lady she would have Samuel mama. Remember Samuel saw the angel and he told her she prayed for a son. And then the
Mm-hmm.
angel came and told her she would have a son. And then she wanted to know what his name was. Because back then, our forefathers understood that, but their name tell you everything about him. So she kept asking for his name and he wouldn't tell her. He left. Then her husband told her he was a priest. If you come again, come get me. So he showed back up. She came and got him. They following and talking to him, and then they made a fire. They set a fire up. When they set a fire up, the angel he transformed into fire and went up in the fire. That's a
Mm.
portal. That's over our head.
Right. And while we're talking about this, I want to bring this up since you had brought up Afghanistan. They said that part of the reason why, I don't know if you've heard, if anybody's heard about this too, is that they wasn't just looking for the oil. That was one thing. That's the materialistic stuff that they were trying to get possession of. But they was also looking for a Stargate, which has to do with the portal. And that's when they talk about,
Right.
I mean, I don't know how far that goes, or a rabbit hole or what, but they talked about running to the giant, but they also found some of these ancient things that um I forgot his name was in Saddam Hussein was in possession of, and I think they said that they had found some kind of Stargate. I don't know though, but that's what they say.
Right. Right. They giving us part of the story. When they went to a certain place and probably summoned it or whatever, whatever however they do it, and that's when how the giant came through. You see what I'm saying? They went
Yeah,
there with the proper information, and then they summoned it, or however you do that, and he came through.
yeah,
Because, like I said, how all of a sudden he pop up in this dimension and attack those soldiers. So they did something, or they had some kind of information or technology or understanding, and they opened up a portal or something, and he came through. And like I said before, what nobody ain't dealing with, we told you, he came through, the giant came through, fire red hair, blue eyes, freckles everywhere. So when you see somebody with those characteristics, that's where they came, that's their origins. Come on. We familiar with it. Like I said, the Israelite, we got woolly hair like sheep. That's why the Most High could keep dealing with them and considering them as sheep, because they got woolly hair like lamb's wool. Them damn Mexican ain't got no lamb's wool in his head. The Indian ain't got no lamb's wool.
It's
That's
interesting that you said. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's interesting you talk about our hair, is because one of the things that they despise us about and are constantly trying to control is our hair.
Exactly.
They created laws that outlaw our hair. And even to this day, they try to control, that little boy in Texas, um, no matter how he did his hair to try to come into compliance, it still wasn't good enough. And the one thing
Right.
they can't make us do is conform. No matter what we do, how we look, they will never be able to conform to the degree that they want us to. So they try to take us out or try to make us change. And it's not, I mean, it's never going to work, but they always going to try.
Right. And so, like I said, a lot of people don't look at things the way I do. So they got satellites, right? They got all these satellites that your cell phone working off of, and all that in the outer space going around the Earth. These satellites. Well, that's the Afro. That's what Afro is. The damn satellite. The hair is live. They hair
Right.
not
And
live.
that's
It's
why
dead.
it grows up. That's why it
Right.
grows up out of our head,
Exactly.
not down. Yeah, I
Right.
heard that
It's
before.
a satellite, and then you got a pineal gland, you got a third eye. You got a bioluminescent eye inside your head. That's how the prophets Daniel and all them able to have visions. So you got people on the planet that pineal gland is dormant, but in us, it's alive. It's glowing. When they started, they was sending us over to Vietnam, and then we was dying, and they was bringing us back over here, and they was doing those autopsies. They would open them dudes up. They've been dead. They've been dead 4 5 months, 6 7 months. They opened them up, and that pineal gland was still glowing, still standing up. It was still alive. The pineal gland was still in operation. That's where all this, the way they attacking us and subduing us now was when they found that out. And that's what a lot of the medicine and stuff they're dealing with now, and like heroin and all that, it came from when they peeped that out. When they found out was that they found out right there how different we was than them.
Shalom.
Right.
And when your parent says, "Don't let them touch your hair,"
Exactly.
um, because when they want to touch their hair, they get that energy from you, and
Exactly.
so they don't want the Afro us to have any kind of energy to overpower the things that they're, you know that
Right.
we can do. So they've created the perm and
Right.
doing the all kinds of stuff that makes us want to not or shame us. Remember, even with the skin color, they want them to uh, lighten their skin, saying they're more beautiful if their skin is lightened. And over in Africa, they
Right.
have lightening cream, and they're paying boohoo money for that because they're thinking that they could get lighter, they'll be more acceptable in certain parts of Africa, which that bleaching cream is really killing them off.
Right. It's throwing them off. So it goes back to, like I was saying, when you look at it, you look at the European, right, and the Chinese, the Mexican, all them, they got dead hair. So then that he distinguished the Israelite by woolly hair. Go to the African. He got the little bit of beads in his head. He ain't got no afro, because the afro is a conduit. You go along with the hair, the skin, the eyes, the piercing eyes, all that play in the fact with the difference in us now and our forefathers. That's why he said don't mix, because you throw all that off. That's how he was dealing with us, because he made us that way for him to deal with us. Like I said, shaving all your hair off. Yeah, that's like I said, you got a satellite in the outer space, and you trying to get a signal for your cell phone. Shit, you gonna take this satellite out the sky or blow it up, you ain't gonna get no signal. So you cut your hair all off, how you gonna get a signal? Come on,
Sh-
but we throw it on that.
Shalom. Being that we're under the curse, and he says you're going to mingle with the Gentiles, do as the Gentiles, and breed with the Gentiles. So,
Right.
by that happening, what happens now that we have biracial children, biracial people here on here now? Does that um, take away more? I know it's kind of downsized the energy and everything that the child or person has now because of their the seed is not all the way because the woman has blood into the child also. So um, how does that work for the coming back and to be a part of the Israelites?
So a prime example is he got a covenant with David, right?
Yeah.
He
Yes, sir.
said he
Yes,
told
sir.
and nobody listened to this. Nobody, this goes over a lot of people's head. He told David that I got a covenant with you. There's always going to be a son out of your lineage on the throne of David. If if the boy act like you and do what you did, he gonna rule and reign, and his kingdom gonna last forever. But if he turn against my laws, my statutes, and all that, then I'm gonna bring these wicked people here. Like I said, that's what these the Assyrians was, the Medes and Persians. That's when the boys went. The king was on the throne out of David lineage, went away from him and turned away from the Most High. So you say, what you talking about? Well, the Lord of hosts, he brought Hezekiah. He liked David, so he controlling the DNA. He brought another boy like David. He got the DNA on his yo-yo string. So then he brought Josiah. When like I said, at 7 to 8 years old, all he want to do, he's trying to bring back the Most High laws. He's trying to clean the temple up because the Most High brought him, made him. And I don't know how he did that was that Israelite man was with an Israelite woman. Then he brought that DNA. He dictated. He on the other side of the DNA. Moses. He brought Moses. He can do the same
Shalom.
thing now. That's what I'm saying about today. He doing the same thing today. There's no way in hell that somebody, especially like in my case, the road that I was on, how the hell I get here? It ain't nothing I did. He dictating it. Like I said, go to the spring, summer, winter, and fall. You come into the world, you may be 40, 50 years old, but the Earth's been doing this forever. Who controlling that?
Most
He on
High.
the other side of it. He on the other side of it. That's what these people have no idea what they up against. What's gonna get ready? What's gonna happen to them? He on the other side of it. He brings about. He brought about. That's why he said when he brought about Josiah, and he said that this is like what 1,500, 2,000 years later when David died. He said Josiah came and he did like his father David. David ain't on his father. He dictating the DNA and he dictating the DNA in these boys. And that's what people ain't getting. They ain't getting that.
Shalom. So I think that one of the things that I know I struggled along with for a while, and I think you had talked a little bit about this before, was that for those of us now that are living today, we've been over here for generations, and of course through slavery, our blood has been intermingled. But
Yeah.
when we return, and if those of us who are still alive return, um, that we will be cleansed because of that, because that was no fault of our own. And it's
Right.
just I don't know. I think for me, one of those examples of that is in the Old Testament where they talked about the I don't know. I think he was a businessman or something. It was coming. He had leprosy. You know the
Yeah.
story I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he
Name it.
told him
Name
to
it.
dip. Yes, and he told him to dip in the water 7 times.
Right.
So I think that's where I guess I was thinking about when Cheryl's question was how do because that was no fault of our own, and how does that get reconciled? And I think that it may have something to do with that, and I think you had talked about that. If you could speak on that a little bit.
Right. Right. So so like I was saying, um, we know we know Sarah's characteristics. We know Abigail's characteristics. We know Leah and Rachel. We know all their characteristics. So even if you intermingle, the Most High can bring out. He can bring out that Rachel side.
Yeah.
Just because the Israelite man made a slept with a white woman, and the girl might be mulatto or whatever, but she might have all the Rachel characteristics. He can do that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
according to his purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But we understand. That's what I'm saying. If you know my story, how the hell I get here? See what I'm saying? That's what I was embarrassed at because of those characters. When I look back, all those characters, everything I see about David and Solomon, all those characters was there. But because of we've been cast off and been lied to, I didn't connect to those characteristics until the Creator decided to connect me to them. But and so that's how they go. No, and that's another part of me that I got I guess you can say a spanking on was come on, he capable of doing whatever he is. You
Right.
gotta have your eyes open to look because what I had seen before, I had seen a white dude. See what I'm saying? I know that somewhere down the I knew somewhere down the line he was mingled, his blood was mingled, but he got Israelite all these Israelite characteristics. And so what I'm gonna do? I'm nobody, like Abraham said. All I gotta do is deal with it and address it. I'm looking at it. All I can do is address it. That's why you see so many of them now coming up making these testimonies on YouTube. They white folks, but they
Mm-hmm.
making all these testimonies. Because the Most High, he got his DNA on the yo-yo strain. He the one doing all that. It had nothing to do with us.
Shalom.
Does that go ahead?
I was just going to say thank you very much because I see now how that you connect those dots for me. I can see it. Thank you.
Right. He do
Go
it. He
ahead,
can do it.
Tasha.
Like I said, like with Moses. You think Moses, how you think Moses survived in the flood? His mama put him in the river. Come on.
Shalom, Brother Leonard. Like Sister Tasha said, you talked about this plenty of times before, right? And there's
Right.
so many of us thinking just because our skin is brown, black, whatever you want to say, right? We're melanated, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes us Hebrew Israelites once that
Right.
we have been awakened to the truth, and
Exactly.
it's bigger than that. It is
Right.
so many people that are awakened to the truth, but they're still so disobedient, right? And they want to
Exactly.
be saying, I'm set apart, I'm different."
Right.
No,
Right.
you're not. It's being obedient is what makes you set apart. So when you have been awakened to the creator, the Lord of
Right.
hosts, right? And you come
Right.
into this truth and you choose to ignore that and bring in something else, or again, I say this all the time. As Hebrew Israelite men and women, we have a role, we have a purpose. So
Right.
this is just an example. If you are a Hebrew Israelite woman and you have been brought into the truth, you have been awakened, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you still feel as though you can trump the man, you know more than he do, you can correct his teaching and so forth, you're out of order,
Exactly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's you're
Right.
being disobedient.
Right. And a man too.
Right, exactly.
Man too. You like I was saying before. what Tasha brought up earlier. He got Elijah there. Naaman, everybody told him. It's the Most High working. Everybody told him, you need to go see Elijah.
Okay.
So Naaman went to saw Elijah. Why you think Elijah there? Now you gonna get there? You talking crazy to Elijah?
Right.
Come on.
Right. It's the Lord of hosts that's working, and if you can't see that at this time, especially if you're saying I've been awakened, and you're you're reading the scriptures, you're searching out the scriptures, and like I say, it's just an example, right? We all have a role, we all have a purpose.
Right.
Not the same. It is not like Jesus the Christ. We are not all one to do everything.
Right.
We all have a purpose. We all have a role.
Right.
So you cannot say because I'm melanated and I've come into the scriptures and I'm reading, I'm Old Testament only, and it's way bigger than that.
Oh yeah, exactly. And like I said before, when this first had happened with me, because like I said before, I've always been a person that shunned drama and all that, right? So I was doing all my searching, going to places. I wasn't aware that, it was the Edomites, it was a harlot Israelite, and then you had the real Jews. I wasn't aware of that at the time, but I had the zeal. I was searching the scriptures. So the job I had, I was on the road, going doing environmental work, going from one place to one city to the next, and we doing work. So what I would do was, when I found out about the Jewish side of it, I started going to these synagogues. I was going to these synagogues, but I was told at the job. So I go up in these synagogues. It ain't nothing but Edomites in there, right? And they when I came in and I sit down, they looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? This was like from one city to the next. And then when I found out what was the deal really was, I had went to the synagogue and I told them guys I had this Israeli flag, the blue, the Israeli flag, which is abomination. I had that, but when I peeped game and found out who I was and how that all was out, I brought the flag with me and I gave it to them. I gave them the flag because I was like, I don't need this damn flag no more. I done peep game on me. So I gave them the flag, and then this one guy was in the corner. I was leaving out of there, and then he called me. He's in a wheelchair. And he called me to the side, and he said, son, Most High gonna do something. He got something going on with you. He said, do you know these people are scared of you? I said, what you mean? He said, they're scared of you. It ain't no black guy been coming in no damn synagogues and standing up and sitting up in the synagogue. They know the prophecies. See what I'm saying? They you coming in here, they see what's going on, they see what's happening. Because like I said, I was going in there with no black person in there. These damn Edomites is in there. They looking at me crazy, but I didn't know what was going on. Most High was at work. And so my point is this: you got Negroes that say they're awakened, and they trying to disrespect me, but these damn Edomites scared of me.
Come on.
Let that ferment.
Let that ferment.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things too that this conversation has kind of got me thinking about is the idea and the concept of race, and that how that has been introduced in the world. It wasn't something that's something that's a newer concept than it was back then.
Right.
And I think this conversation has sort of kicked off a thought process for me, is the idea that we classify things currently, and I do, like black and white, that the Edomites I associate with being white, and I associate the Israelites with being black.
Right.
But in listening to this conversation, it's making me to rethink that. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, for example, like just say it's been allotted to us by the Creator that we started out one day with the Lord, was 1,000 years, but He gave us. Then he caused a sin, It went down to 120 years during the time of Noah. And now it's at 70 years, 70 years. So imagine in your lineage, just say 100 years before you was born, it was a woman, right? And she was just as nice and good and righteous and all that, and kept herself and all that good. And then, boom, here you come. But it's some people that live, they're still alive, that knew her. And they walk up and they see you. And then you got all those same characteristics.
Mm.
She might have been a darker color than you. You might be light skinned, but you got all them characteristics of her. That's the Most High. Like I said before, JC can't do that. He can't do that. So them signs. And we, like I said, we fumbling with it. So he's working, he working through the DNA. Everything he prophesied and everything he's doing, he working through the DNA. It's the DNA. So it doesn't, if that man or that woman crossed over and whatever and intermingled whatever, but it's still on, he's still dealing with the DNA.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm just gonna be honest. I'm probably the only person that feel this way, but it still bothers me because I feel like they are intermingling with us for their own devious or evil, if you want to use that word,
Yeah,
plan. Like, go ahead.
yeah. They intermingle with us because of, it says that when he put he formed Adam on the ground, but it was no life in him, right?
Mm.
Then he said he breathed the breath of life in him. What's the breath of life? Melanin. So that's what they want. They're not looking at it from a spiritual perspective. They're looking for life. Like I said, they can't deal with the sun. The sun killed everything around them is because of the lack of melanin is detrimental to them. So they cling on us to interbreed with us to live. They want the melanin and what the melanin brings to the table. So prime example, when at conception, you would think that just say me or you or anybody on the line, you got 10 toes, you got the fingernails and you got the teeth, all this in line, everything lined up. You think that was an accident? It just happened, it was an accident? No, the melanin. When that fetus, when you get together with a person and you have that semen, that sperm cell go into that woman's
The
ovary, whatever.
egg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And once it become a fetus, that all that melanin in your body comes down to that and surround that fetus and form it. That's how you get the 10 toes and the eyes and all that. It ain't no accident. So that's what they want. Like I said, when during the Vietnam War, they was bringing those black soldiers back. And they was cutting their heads open, doing they always studying us. And they found out, and when they opened their brain up, the pineal gland, that luminescent pineal gland was still raised up, still alive. That's what that pineal gland was make the melanin. So, like I said, when you have when that once that seed go into the woman's fallopian tube and it become a fetus, then that melanin goes down there and surround it and form it. That's why David said, "In my mama's womb, he formed me and made me." So that's what these angels, that's what these 7 angels is all about. But we have no idea. It's not a coincidence. When you created and formed, and you don't just, it ain't just automatic. You get a spirit. It's brought. It's brought from heaven. That's why David said, "Those that go down into the pit, because of the spirit that's in them." That spirit, when that person died, that spirit didn't come from heaven. So he got to go down to the pit where he had made for it. But the ones that come from him is sins. That's what these roles of these angels are. We'll take that spirit back the way it came from. So at the time of conception, when I'm telling you about what the melanin doing and all that, at that same time, sometime in that process, a spirit is brought and put in there.
Shalom.
Yeah.
I was reading the other day where when I want to do more research into why China is helping Africa so much. They are really wanting them to inbreed with the Africans
Right.
um, to have those babies, so they could continue to do to make sure that their lineage gets saved.
Right.
This is what one of the articles says. So, far as the Caucasians or whites would be the same thing, and then there are black skinned or melanated Mexicans are doing the same thing. It's all trying to get some of their heritage into the melanated
Right.
stage.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So that's the essence. The melanin is the essence of life. That's what they want. They want the melanin, and we possess it. That's what they want. It's not about them trying to be like us. They trying to. When you start thinking about albino and invasive species, it only can exist for so long. Then it's gonna cancel itself out. So they have to come after so long. They gotta breed with us because we the humans. They gotta they gotta get some of that life force, the life source that's in us to continue to live. Like I said before, you thinking that you looking at the world from you got melanin. You looking at the world and you gauging it off of because you got melanin. Well, there's people out there. Melanin is what give you when you get barbecue and you eat that barbecue and you say, "Damn, you got a good taste." Well, people that don't taste that. They don't have no taste. And then or people that don't see color. Melanin is what give you all that the color. You see color and everything when you looking. These people don't have that. That's the people he talking about. That he ain't got a problem with. And that's why he said don't intermingle with them. But that conversation been tabooed. Yeah.
Shalom. So whilst we were talking, something clicked to my mind that that's why they brought in the New Testament, so they
Right.
could we all together
Right.
turn the other cheek, be
Right.
nice, and all that. So they're ensuring such a way that they will continue to mingle and get
Exactly.
rid of the Sabbath day, get
Right.
rid of the things that continue would make them not a part. So they
Right.
make sure that they will be a part of everything by drilling the 18 years of
Right.
schooling and churches on every other corner, regardless what their titles were or are, so they can, you know, do like we're saying right now, getting that life port, if you may say, to stay above ground.
Right. Exactly. So I'm gonna read this right here before we close out. And then, like I say, there's no other reason why this is. Somebody had something. So it says right here. I would I read this a lot, but a lot of people don't. It ain't registering. So this when David came in. So that the Jerusalem before David came, it was a place of these giants was. And these giants was they was mutations. They that was the DNA that they had wasn't good. It was bad, and so it wasn't good. So when David came there, he conquered Zion. He conquered this place, and he turned it to Zion. It became the city of David. But I'm gonna show you what happened when David got there, right? It says, verse 6, and the king, David, and his men went to Jerusalem unto the Jebusites, so these giants. It's one of those 7 nations that was in the land of Canaan. The inhabitants of the land, who spake unto David, saying, check it out, except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come hither, thinking David cannot enter. So they got this, you got to understand these giants, so they got these cities, they walled up. That's why he said, the cities in these, when the spies came back, they said the cities are walled up to heaven, and we like grasshoppers to them, because they had these big old huge walls they built around their cities. So these giants figured David and them can get in there, but they got issues because they didn't mingle angel DNA with human DNA, and they got defects. This is why the Creator telling us, he told them, don't mingle with them. When you get to the land, don't mingle with the people because they got defects. So let's look at it. So he says, they told him, except thou take away the blind and the lame. Go to the New Testament. Think thou shalt not come in hither. Thinking David cannot come in hither, right? Then 7. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion because he got the Lord of hosts with him. The same is the city of David. See that? So before that, it was a giant. It was a city for these giants. David took it. Now it's called the city of David. Then verse 8. And David said, on that day, whoever get up to the gutter and smiteth the Jebusites, look at this, and the lame and the blind that are hated. See that? Excuse me. That are hated of David's soul. So what's soul? Soul is what the angel came and put in your body when you, like I told you, when the melanin is forming. So it says the very essence that came from the Creator, David's soul, hate the lame and the blind that are hated of David's soul, and he shall be chief captain well. So David's soul hate the lame and the blind. See that? So where we at today? We've been brainwashed. We don't hate the lame and the blind. When we see that, we got some kind of compassion for it. But they knew back then why they was lame and blind, why they had defects. Come on. Yeah. But that's a story for another day. Like I said, that's taboo. Okay. Any questions, comments before we go? Everybody good?
Shalom, I'm good, and thank you so much for sharing.
Okay.